Hi everyone, good evening. Welcome to Astroscope for Friday the 25th of October. We are almost at Mercury retrograde in Scorpio. Who is pumped? Sure as shit, not me. I am dreading this. The last 24 hours, I have been on an emotional roller coaster of excitement and then absolute chaos. Like, not even moody, okay? It's not moody. It's just too many things that you're trying to process, too many things that you're trying to understand and get your head around all in the one go. And can be an absolute nightmare. Like, it's been really, it has tested my patience. I had a rotten start to this morning. It finished up actually giving me an upset stomach, which is really bizarre. Like, I'm not usually affected by stuff like that. So it was really very interesting to see how my body coped by purging. That's a nice way of putting it. I'll save you the gory details. But by purging the stuff that I just couldn't process, like I just could not physically process it. So my body took over. So hi, Joe. Thanks for popping in. Alrighty-o, let's get into it. Astroscopes for this Friday night, 25th of October. Let's have a little look at my current planet placements. Now, you will still be able to see me, but I won't be able to see you. Hello from Brizzy. Just while I have a little look at the current planets. Now, I have a look. I bring these up just before I actually go on. Because I want to have a little bit of a surprise. I want to see. It's also good for me to be tested on my astrology knowledge as well, because I'm a nerd. I love that sort of stuff. So, wow. Okay, straight off the bat, I can tell you that we are in for an emotional couple of days, even a bit longer than an emotional couple of days. We have got the sun has just entered Scorpio, a few days in. Moon is in Virgo at the moment. Mercury is in Scorpio. Venus is in Scorpio. Mars is in Libra. Jupiter is Sagittarius. Saturn Capricorn. Uranus is Taurus. Neptune is Pisces and Pluto is Cap. All okay. And just to add fire to all of that, North Node is in Cancer. You sucky son of a bitch. Right. What does this mean in English? The moon is aspected, so you've got all your main planets, so your moon is Saturn and Jupiter and blah, 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 okay? And they live in different sections of the chart, which are zodiac, so your Libra, Aries, Pisces, all that sort of stuff, okay? So the different planets can form aspects to one another, which means that they're in support, like trines and sextiles, or they oppose, or square, which is the challenge, okay? So you need to think about things a little bit differently, or they might be poking you in a different way. So the moon is, sun's just a flat out opposition of Uranus, which means that it's opposing, which means it's like, come on then, and I mean, Uranus is the planet of innovation and change. So when the sun says, oh yeah, it means that we're fighting to get some change. We want to change things. It's not actually, it's not in, yeah, it is in Scorpio. That makes it even bloody worse, doesn't it? Oh, okay. Batten down the hatches. Hide, if preferable. Yeah. I don't even know where to go with this. You've got so many different planets. The moon is bouncing off everything. So it sextiles Mercury, it sextiles Venus, it squares Jupiter, it trines Saturn, it opposes Neptune, and it trines Pluto. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We've got 4 really nice. So a sextile is kind of like a little bit of a lesser punchier version of a trine, and a trine sets things up beautifully. It works in conjunction, not in conjunction, I shouldn't use that word. It works in collaboration, so it supports the planets that are around it, okay? When you see something is in trine, it's nice. It's trying to support it. And sextile is a lesser version of a trine. We've got the square, which is the moon squaring Jupiter, which Jupiter is the planet of luck and optimism as well. And because the moon is all about emotions and how those emotions look and how we process those emotions, and the divine feminine, the female side of our personality, basically we're up shit creek without a paddle. We've got Mercury, moon bouncing off Mercury. So Mercury is the planet of communications, okay? So this is what's going in retrograde soon. So at the moment, our emotions are all over the place. People are misinterpreting information. Venus, the planet of love and attraction. So the things that you love the most are the things that are going to really test you at the moment. They're going to feel challenging. It's going to be an emotional time for you. Jupiter, planet of luck, which we covered. Saturn, Neptune, and Pluto. They're all about structures, illusions, and eliminations and renewals. So basically, we are getting a complete and utter overhaul. And like I was unfortunately admitted earlier with my full purge this morning, because I just couldn't physically process any more emotion. So my body took over and gave me the Hershey squirts. Not the coolest time of my life, because I actually was at my muggles job today and I was 45 minutes in the car in Sydney, which is never a nice situation to be in when your bottom wants to vomit. So yeah, that was pretty intense for me. It was a get out of my way dopey moment. It's green, go. So that was pretty intense. So this is what it's doing for me. So it'd be interesting to see, if you're as gutsy as me, how it manifests for you and what you're doing. Some people will cry, some people will purge, some people will get angry, some people will just switch off. You know, it really does depend on how you process these emotions when they're popping up and going through things. Mars is squaring Saturn as well, okay? So I want to cover that because Mars is the planet of ambition and drive, and Saturn is structures. So we know that Sun's already opposing Uranus, so the masculine is already opposing innovation and change, but Mars being the planet of energy and drive, and Saturn being the planet of illusions, limitations and structures, how we build things. You know, we're not out of the woods yet, ladies and gentlemen. We're just not. So it's going to be a fun time ahead. It can suck balls. I've already quit. I don't want to do this anymore. I will do this because it's fun, but I don't want to live anymore. And I'm certainly not adulting for at least 3 days. So don't expect anything. All of my argument will be settled by paper, scissors, rock. And that's just how I'm going to tackle with these energies. So, yeah. All right, let's have a look and see what we've got here. Hello, everybody. Jess Regan. Just Regan is a Cancer. You've got North Node, okay? So this will be about you wanting to go forward at the moment. And all those planets bouncing off you, they're going to say, listen here, girlfriend, you need to be listening. So the easiest way to get through this time, if it is for you, do what I did. Just say, I'm owning it. I can't deal with today. I'm going to go to a safe place, wherever that safe place is for you, and just work through it. Don't try to squish it. The tears come up, let them fall. Poop comes out, let it go. The anger comes out, let that go too. Deal with it front on it. Very healthy for you to be able to get these emotions out. Obviously, you want to do it in a controlled, safe environment so nobody gets hurt and you don't get hurt. You know, don't jump in your car when you've got the crankies on or anything like that. But it's just, yeah. I have a human in my house. Those footsteps are not spirit. I can hear footsteps, but they're not spirit footsteps. I'd say that's my husband because the doggies are not chewing somebody. All right, let's have a look. What else is going on? Kitchell Stewart, purging a lot of tears and physical pains coming up because I'm not processed. I know. This is it. If we ignore our bodies when our bodies tell us to do stuff and we ignore it and we don't want to talk about it and we don't want to process it, the universe will just keep compounding that pressure on us, compounding that pain. The couple of things that I've been dealing with that led to this morning's purge, they've been building for a few months, okay? So, and it's not because I haven't been processing as I've gone, but some of the stuff that I've been dealing with, it's been out of my control. It's been somebody else. Like there's a person at work that is hell-bent on making everything difficult for absolutely no freaking reason whatsoever. That's out of my control. I can't change that, but I'm still affected by it because I still need to work there and I still need to be a functioning, efficient team member. So it's really difficult to be able to process everything that you need to process. And I'm not that sort of person that just says, stuff it, I'll just rock up every day, or I'll just do this and I don't care. I'm not wired for not caring. So for those sorts of situations, I find it really, really hard, because I ran my own businesses for years. So there's a level of expectation of professionalism and doing the right thing. So when things are out of your control, it's really hard to be able to process them. So yeah. What else have we got this? Lorraine gets it completely. I know, it's just a pain in the butt, isn't it? But you know what? Because we're conscious of it and we're aware of what's going on, we're actually able to process it better. And I know that sounds weird, but you know when you see those little memes and they say, you know, the worst thing about being surrounded by stupid people is they don't know they're stupid. So no disrespect, but that's kind of what's going on. Like, at least you're aware that your body is changing, or you're shifting, or you're receiving a download of information from the universe, or, you know, something triggers you and you go, wow, you know, why did that piss me off? Why did that hurt my feelings? What's going on here? Is there something I need to learn from this? And these sorts of, when the moon is bouncing off 2, 4, 6 planets, and then Mars, which is a huge planet, and Sun, you know, both fiery planets, are pounding us, something's got to give. And there's absolutely no harm in saying, I need time out. I was completely feral when I came home this morning. So my husband put me in time out and said, you need to go to the gym and you need to work it out of your system, and that's how you're going to process it. And I thought, I'm not going to the gym and you can't make me. I went to the gym and it was the best thing ever, because I needed to get all of that stuff out. And when I did that, my poopy shoot started to settle down, which was brilliant. So I probably should have gone to the gym on the way to work. I would have got a full day's worth of work in. But the universe wanted me to take time out. So that's exactly what's going on. All right. Kirsten's got the same. It's just uncomfortable, isn't it? Hello, Jess. Joy McPherson, I can't find a job. Okay. The first thing you're saying with that, and you can roll your eyes if you like, my love, is I can't. So what I'd like you to do is consider this. Turn it around and say, the right job for me will present itself. Okay? So that's saying that the right job for you. If you've always been a barista and the universe says, okay, now's the time for you to start doing something else with your life, even if you really love it, you will not get a barista job, because the universe is trying to push you in a different direction. So take that I can't find a job to the right job always comes to me. The right job will present itself to me. I easily find the right job for me. Those sorts of things, okay? Don't lock yourself into an industry. I'm a Pisces and so confused at the moment with my relationship. Melissa McDonald. Pisces is one tiny little aspect of your chart. Let me talk to you about something that I learned a number of years ago. We all know the story Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs. So we've got 7 sub-personalities. So we've got 7 planets. Now, when we do our natal chart, we've got ourselves, which is the sun, Snow White, and our 7 other sub-personalities, which is the 7 other planets that make up our standard natal chart till we get too fancy, okay? So we're just going to keep it standard. And for Snow White to be able to get her happiness, find her life purpose, okay, it's a bit dicky because, you know, she just wants to marry a good-looking dude, which is not very ambitious at all, but I'm a bra burner, so what would I know? But I digress. Get back on the subject. Snow White and the 7 Dwarfs is about her being able to understand those 7 sub-personalities, the different dwarfs. Now, those dwarfs are actually aspects of ourselves. And when we work through them and we deal with things honestly and we embrace those 7 sub-personalities that we have that make up our blueprint or our natal chart in astrology, then we get what we want. It really is that very simple. You're not going to be able to attract the right person to you until you work on that sub-personality that looks after how you love yourself, what love means for you. Love is an umbrella term. It's not going to be the same thing for everybody. There's 5 languages of love in this book. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend that you have a look at it. You can have a quiz online. It's for free as well. So, and it'll teach you how you receive love. What does love look like for you? It's the 5 languages of love. Check it out. So when Snow White understands those different personality traits that she has, then everything starts falling into place in your life. She gets the prince, she gets the, whatever she wants in her life, and you can do the same, whether it's a prince or not. Okay, so that's why I am a huge advocate for understanding ourselves, as opposed to when's this perfect person for me coming in, when's I'm going to meet the love of my life, my twin flame and my soulmate. When you understand yourself, your frequency will shift. And when your frequency shifts, that is when you start bringing in the right partners for you. Now, that doesn't mean that if you work on yourself tremendously, you will get your twin flame and that's the end of it, okay? That means that the more you understand yourself and truly understand yourself, the more your friendship circles will change, the more things change in your life that will attract the right situation to you, so we can continue to evolve and grow. And it's freaking amazing when you get on this path. It truly is. So it's not just Pisces, okay? What you can do, though, is for you right now, okay, see things for what they are. So if you're confused with your relationship, this is Melissa McDonald, put your hand on your throat. Everyone can do this if they want to. Put your hand on your throat, put one hand, your thumb in between your boobs, and your hand will automatically fall just underneath your boobs, across your sternum, the top of your solar plexus, kind of your sternum. Solar plexus a little bit further down. Put your hand on your throat and ask yourself a series of questions, but you've got to allow enough gap for your body to respond, okay? So it's like muscle testing, so subconscious muscle testing, and you're listening for if your throat closes over, or if your heart quickens, or what's happening for you in your body that is an indicator that something's not right. You will already know, Melissa, exactly what you need to do, because you signed up for this before we came back to Earth this time. So confusion is because you need to make sure you're seeing the very big picture very clearly. Okay, my love, that's what it's all about for you. My mind keeps getting focused on things. That's my puppy dog having a sing in the background. I'm going to choke him. I would love to be able to pretend that I did some sort of wonderful wiggle nose spell cast that and quieten him down, but truth be told, it's probably my husband that just roused on him. Okay. Kim Gratian says, my mind keeps getting focused on things that have caused me a lot of pain lately. That is the universe saying that you haven't dealt with things. You haven't dealt with, now it's not necessarily, this is where we get a bit caught up. You know how we see those angel numbers? Oh, I see 55 all the time. It's not necessarily the physical vision of 55 that's alerting you. It's what your thoughts are right at that time. And the universe uses those 55, 88, the sequence of numbers. Or I always see an orange car. It's not the orange car. It's what you're thinking about when you see the orange car, okay? Where are your thoughts going? What are you thinking about? Now, Kim's talking about, she's focusing, her mind keeps focusing on things that have caused her a lot of pain. That does not necessarily mean you need to go back to that abusive boyfriend and seek some sort of closure. It means, what have you learned about this? Have you let go of the pain that's associated with this? Have you let go? What have you let go? I got banging in here now. There's so much noise. Okay. It's gone. I don't know what's going on. So it just totally threw me. That shits me to tears when that happens. Right, come back, please. So what you're doing is the universe is trying to get you to pay attention to the lessons within the trauma, okay, or the situation. So it could be a trigger point for you, or it could be something that you need to understand better so you don't make those same mistakes again, or that you're able to grow in a manner that is healthy for you. So understand, try to take as much of the emotion out of it. Try to understand what the lesson is. What have you learned? How is this going to affect me going forward? They're the sorts of things we should be having a good look at. Kirsten, I got a great reading today, but now I'm second guessing it all, seeing it as negative, and I'm like, oh, what's going on? I know, this is it. And you self-sabotage. We all self-sabotage on one degree or another, okay? We just do. We don't even realize that we're doing it. We're that clever at doing it, because we get told a lot that we can't. So our brain goes, oh, we're just going to go to the old I can't. When you can. There's no reason why you can't. You have to, can, okay? So, yeah, don't second guess it. Everything is there for a reason. And even if it doesn't feel right now, write down the key things that you remember, okay? Write down even if the reader said to you, you know, the red car, and you're like, I would never own a red car. It may not necessarily be that. It might be you driving home from work and, you know, somebody that you know just bought a red car, and it's a glee moment for you. It's a happy moment, okay? So it's a frequency that as readers we try to interpret. So we're not always going to get it right. We just don't, which is why it's extremely important for the reader to tell you everything as it comes through verbatim, so you can work out how it applies to you, so how it's going to help you in your life, and whether that resonates or not, and whether you're aware when that message comes through, or in this case, a red car. Do you think I can trust the reading I got today? Okay, absolutely. All right, and I just explained why. So let me have a little think here. I think with Kirsten, the thing with planetary aspects is that they move, okay? So the confusion will move. Write down the things that you're confused about, and then have a good look at them, and ask yourself, is it warranted confusion? Do you need to go back to the reader and say, look, I just didn't get this part, or I put these notes down. Can you just give me another little indicator? Now, if you came to me for a reading, I would have to tune right back into your energy, because I channel and I don't remember shit. But I will tell you exactly what I get through the second time. So if you're not sure on what the reader said to you and that part is not clear for you, go back and ask some questions until it is clear. Now, be mindful, as readers, we get a lot of people doing this, and they try to do it to get free readings. So be mindful and be respectful of your reader's time, okay, when you do that. But just explain to them that it just created a bit of confusion, and could you just have a little bit of clarity about this particular thing? In your case, though, you sometimes wait for the I just got corrected. They said more often than not. Okay, so more often than not, you wait for something terrible to happen, because you know that for every good thing, there's a whole bunch of not so good things, okay? So you're in that theta state. Your subconscious plays that tape over and over and over. Oh, I've had a little bit of fun here, so now life's going to go shit. So that this is a lesson for you, and the fact that you've popped up now and said, you know, this is confusing, and we're talking about what Kim's going through, you know, the things that are popping up in her mind and are replaying over in her mind. This is something that you need to work on as well, letting go of that message. Spirit doesn't bullshit us, okay? Sometimes you'll get dodgy readers, or you'll get dodgy people you're reading for that don't want to listen, or are too in their logic brain and they can't understand that spirit is not logical. So I would 100% trust the reading that you got today. Your first gut feeling was really empowering. It's only afterwards that you tried to talk yourself out of it. You have to go with your initial gut feeling. If you're sitting there in front of the reader and you're going, this is horse shit, you've got it wrong, you have an obligation to say to that reader, I'm sorry, but it's just not resonating. Can we try something else? Would you like to hold a piece of my jewelry? Maybe the reader's scared of something, or they're first for the day. It could be anything going on in their lives. We're human too. So, but you have to trust what your initial gut reaction was. And you had excitement, because my heart was going, boom. You were excited about all the good things that are coming for you. Now you've got to train your mind into accepting them, okay? You can do it. I know you can. Margaret is a Gemini. Geminis get a bad rap. Now, this is stereotypical astrology, which I absolutely hate, because I'm a freaking total closet nerd when it comes to astrology. Stereotypically, people think that Geminis are two-faced, backstabbers, they can't work things out. They can. It's just that Gemini's thirst for knowledge means that they're very detail-orientated, and they will change their mind as more information comes to light, as more research is done, as they get a greater understanding of stuff. I'm hoping to succeed in my journey of a new lifestyle. You will absolutely 100% do this, Margaret, because you've been thinking about it for quite some time. And you're not a procrastinator, but you do like to make sure that you've got most of the information before you jump. So you're very careful, okay? That doesn't mean that you're not active or not cardinal or not action orientated, but look at that. Time to explore. I just pulled out cards. I'm doing a reading straight after this, and I've pulled these cards out for her, but I flipped one over when I was saying something to Margaret, so I picked up straight away exploration. So absolutely, Margaret, you're going to succeed in this because you've given it some careful thought. This is not a willy-nilly thing for you, okay? So good on you. Okay.